Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me and thank you for your continued support. Now, we all know that Liz Kendall went on quite a lot about trying to get disabled people back into work. She said that lots of disabled people wanted to be working and that there should be support there to help them do that, which of course, for people who can work and want to work, then of course there should be the support there. Now, Pat McFadden has kind of reiterated some of that. He's targeting, I think, more the younger generation of people, but there are some things in his recent comments which suggest that it's not just the young that he's going to be trying to get back into work. So I'm going to read you the article and then you can let me know what you think down in the comments. Labour won't abandon young people to a life on sickness benefits. Young people must not be abandoned to a life on sickness benefits, Pat McFadden has said. As he vowed to ramp up back-to-work support, the new Secretary of State for Work and Pensions warned that the welfare system was not working as it should if it signed people off with ill health and then forgets about them forevermore. In his first interview since taking up his new role, he pledged to put the importance of work very much at the heart of future reforms to the welfare system. His remarks come after analysis showed that 1 million Britons are now being paid more in state benefits than workers on minimum wage. There has been a huge rise in young people being signed off work with ill health, fueled by a surge in mental health diagnoses such as anxiety and depression. Mr. McFadden said that he wanted to see more support in place to help those people find jobs. The last thing we want to do is assess someone just as a snapshot of their life and then forget about them forevermore, he said to the Telegraph. To be assessed once, then they are given whatever benefits they're entitled to, and that's the end of it. It's not the way the system should be. His remarks come with Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, eyeing up big tax rises in their budget as she battles to fill the £50 billion black hole, fuelled by a surging welfare bill. Actually, it's not fuelled by that, it's fuelled by her own incompetence, to be fair. Labour's MPs recently rejected plans to cut £5 billion from the annual sickness benefit spending, despite the fact that they're projected to spiral past £100 billion by 2030. It comes with a number of repeat assessments for sickness benefits having collapsed since the pandemic, while the number of claimants has risen sharply. People applying for sickness benefits have to undergo a work capability assessment carried out by a government official in order to be signed off. They are then meant to undergo reassessments, typically scheduled for every 6 months to 3 years, to determine whether they are still ill to work. There were 607,000 such repeat assessments carried out on 3.2 million claimants in 2019, meaning that almost 1 in 5 claims was rechecked. But by 2022 that number had collapsed to 66,000 and it was never recovered. Official figures show that last year 192,000 reassessments were conducted. This was on 4.2 million people after the number of claimants surged after COVID, representing an annual retesting rate of just 4.7%. The Office for Budget Responsibility has said that routine checks are the only proven way to boost the number of people returning to work. It is sceptical about the impact of employment programs and has previously refused to include potential savings from them in budget forecasts. Mr. McFadden said the welfare state must be there for people who have such serious and permanent conditions that they would never be able to work. But he also insisted that there are at least a proportion of people on long-term sickness and disability benefits who, with the right support in place, could work. We should be maximising people's opportunity, he said. To state the obvious, we're the Labour Party, we're the party of work. I want to approach this with sympathy and understanding, but also with the value of work and the importance of work very much at the heart of what we do. Now, there are a couple of things I want to say about that. First of all, people aren't just assessed and then left alone. That's the whole problem. The problem is that they are being reassessed all the time. If you're on universal credit, then some people are reassessed or checked up on every month. So the fact that people are just put on benefits and then ignored and left alone is absolutely rubbish. That doesn't happen. Yes, there are people who have longer assessment periods or gaps in between than others, but that is usually determined, or at least hopefully determined, on the seriousness of their condition. But even so, It's, it's not the fact that they're just put on benefits and left alone. I don't see where he's got that information from. Yes, there may be less reassessments than there were before COVID, but I don't think that that is certainly not the fault of the people who are on benefits. And I think that, if you look at the comments on my videos, or if you look at some of the posts on X and other social media, you will know that most people are absolutely scared stiff of the reassessments because they keep getting hounded about it. So I don't see where this is coming from. But anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comment sections. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Please do subscribe if you've got this far, and I'll see you next time.